Dear fellow Sierra Leoneans, as a consequence of the entry of the COVID-19 pandemic into Sierra Leone, schools were closed for approximately 3 months, and the sitting of the BECE, the Basic Education Certificate Examination 2020, was put back to 14th to 22nd September 2020. 3 months later, we have today, 21st December 2020, received provisional results for 127,625 candidates out of a total of 133,438. 66,692 are male, and 66,746 are female candidates, and they come from 1,209 schools. This 2020 entry total exceeds the 2019 entries of 110,495 from 892 schools by 22,943 candidates and 317 schools respectively. Interestingly also, female BECE candidates outnumber male candidates for the first time ever. Included in the entry total are 203 who were absent for all papers and 88 candidates who sat insufficient papers to be qualified for an aggregate score. These results would have been released much earlier, but for the unpatriotic and uncaring nature, and some may even say wicked attitude, of some heads of schools who refused to submit continuous assessment scores of candidates from their schools, even though they knew that non-submission will result in their candidates losing up to 20% of their total marks, and hence dooming many to failing the exam and increasing the failure rate for the whole country. Even as I make this announcement, the results of 32 schools are pending because of non-receipt of continuous assessment scores. If the continuous assessment scores of these 32 schools are not received by WIEC by Monday, 21st December, that was today, it will be assumed that the principals do not intend submitting, and the final grades of candidates from these schools will be computed. Appropriate discipline action against these principals by the Teaching Service Commission has now commenced. At the same time, I wish to bring to the notice of all boards of governors that they should ensure that their heads of schools submit their continuous assessment scores on time, or they will be held equally responsible for any ensuing delay in release of results. I must note that many of the principals are from private schools. We have carried out a quick preliminary analysis of the provisional results, and I'm pleased to announce as follows. 88,356 candidates passed the BECE 2020. That is 65% of candidates sitting. This is much better than the pass rate of 46% of 2019. The mean and average aggregate score for the provisional results received is aggregate 27. This is better than the mean of 28 obtained in 2018 and much better than the mean of 33 obtained in 2019. Whilst in 2018, a total of 14,609, 16.23% candidates had aggregates of 20 or better. In 2019, the number of candidates with aggregates of 20 or better was just 5,094, about 4.61%. But that has increased significantly to 31,021, 24.37% in 2020. This means that in 2020, the number of candidates with aggregates of 20 or better was 25,927 greater than in 2019. Subject performance is encouragingly much better in 2020 than in 2019. For example, in the core subjects, the numbers passing and pass rates were as follows. Integrated Science, 46,527, 42.12% in 2019. In 2020, 110,283, making 86.63% passed in 2020. For language arts, 49.25.26% passed in 2019, 53.53 passed in 2020. For mathematics, 34,595 candidates, that's 31.32% passed in 2019, and in 2020, 75,941, making up 59.65% passed. In social studies, the trend is the same, 67.68% passed in 2019, and in 2020, 106,138 candidates, making up 83.35% of the candidates passed. And those are for our core subjects. Note that in 2019, less than half the candidates passed in integrated science, language arts, mathematics, and social studies. While in 2020, the pass rate was more than 50% in all the core subjects. Overall, preliminary analysis of the 2020 BECE provisional results, which accounts for over 95% of candidates that entered, indicate that performance in 2020 is better than in 2019 for all subjects apart from agriculture. In a few days, when the full results become available, I'll present a much more detailed and comprehensive report. In the meanwhile, let me thank YX staff who have been working up to midnight on many days and beyond to process the results. And now, for the top candidates. There are many candidates who scored aggregate 7 and many more who scored aggregate 8 and beyond. So we're only going to announce the candidates who scored aggregate 7 because there are 9 of them. I do want to observe that of the 9 candidates who scored aggregate 7, 7 of them are female. Our best 2 candidates in this year's BECE 2020 joined first from the Annie Walsh Memorial School, Kisi Road, is Kamara Mariama Abibatu, who scored a 1 in integrated science, 1 in language arts, 2 in mathematics, 1 in social studies, 1 in RME, 1 in Creole, 1 in business studies, and 1 in performing arts. Joined first is Salman Malak M from Kambwe Lebanese International School, Kenema, who scored 1 in integrated science, 1 in language arts, 2 in mathematics, 1 in social studies, 1 in agriculture, 1 in PHE, 1 in home economics, and 1 in Arabic. Third is Mama Raymond EA from Providence International High School, Freetown, 1 integrated science, 2 language arts, 1 mathematics, 1 social studies, 1 PHE, 1 RME, 1 business studies, and 2 in home economics. Fourth, from Providence International High School, is Sisei Alaji Ali Mahmoud, 1 in integrated science, 2 in language arts, 1 in mathematics, 1 in social studies, 1 in PHE, 1 in RME, 1 in business studies, and 2 in home economics. Fifth is Ba Habibatu Sire from Madrasatu Hakim Junior Secondary School, Kalbatown, 1 in integrated science, 2 in language arts, 1 in mathematics, 1 in social studies, 2 in agriculture, 1 in RME, 1 in home economics, and 1 in Arabic. Next is Sise Mama Amina Saidu from Modern High, 1 in integrated science, 2 in language arts, 1 in mathematics, 1 in social studies, 1 in agriculture, 2 in RME, 1 in business studies, and 1 in home economics. Next is Conte Mohamed Lamin from the Sierra Leone Grammar School, Murraytown, 1 in integrated science, 1 in language arts, 2 in mathematics, 1 in social studies, 2 in agriculture, 1 in RME, 2 in business studies, and 1 in performing arts. Next is Noldred Jemima Antonia J from Annie Walsh Memorial School, Kisi Road, 1 in integrated science, 1 in language arts, 2 in mathematics, 1 in social studies, 2 in RME, 1 in Creole, 2 in business studies, 1 in iTech. And finally, We have Kamara Aisatu Abdullahi from Madrasatu Hakim Junior Secondary School, Kalbatown. 1 in integrated science, 2 in language arts, mathematics 1, social studies 1, agriculture 2, 1 in RME, 2 in home economics, and 1 in Arabic. We saw the least number of malpractice cases this year, and I'm really proud and excited for all the hard work that our children have put, particularly during these COVID times. I do want to add that as part of government's free quality school education program, government continues to pay tuition by saying congratulations to all of our candidates who put in tremendous amounts of work, to all of our teachers and to all the parents as we support our children to transition to secondary school. Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. Thank you.